5/8 thick HDPE is what these doors are made of. They're for the Defender, and today we're going to show you how to get them installed. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Grease the Wheels. I'm Braden Adams, this is my garage, and today we're going to be showing you how to install SuperATV's HDPE half doors on this Can-Am Defender. Here's the tools, so let's get right to it. So the first thing you're going to do is go ahead and remove all the contents of the packaging from SuperATV. You're going to grab the bulb seal, and we're going to install the bulb seal in the channel that runs all the way around the door. So it's going to run all the way to this point here, then stop. We're going to start on this side, and we're going to make sure that the bulb portion of the seal is facing down towards the inside of the door. So we're going to start right here and install the seal, and it just pops right into place. It's pretty easy to get it installed. Just like so. Now we're going to grab our filler panel. We're going to take a piece of the seal with the adhesive on the back and put it in between these two notches here, and then a small one here. And take a piece of bulb seal and run it from the bottom all the way to this position, making sure that it's oriented like so with the top of the holes here. And you can see that the inside of this panel has a spot here where it's been machined down. You're going to make sure it's going towards the inside. You're going to make sure the bulb seal is facing towards the inside. So when you're looking at it from the outside in, it should look just like so. All right, so moving on to the machine, we're gonna go ahead and remove the side panel here. If you have your factory bolster still installed, as well as your door nut and your latch for the nut, go ahead and remove that. It's very easy to do, a couple screws, you'll have it off in no time. We're gonna need to grab a socket here. It's gonna be a T30 or a Torx 30. Remove this screw here, and then we're gonna have two push pins on the back side we'll need to remove as well. Gonna use a flathead to pop the centers out of the push pins. You can dump the bed and use a push pin removal tool if you want, but just for two push pins, it wasn't worth the time to mess with it. So we're just gonna grab this flathead and pop them out. Then we can go ahead and remove the side panel. So now what we're gonna do is go ahead and remove the factory cage bolts. This machine previously had these doors installed, so we already had the cage bolts removed and our bracket installed. Once the cage bolts are removed, you're gonna grab your long M10 bolt with your spacer and then your threaded plate. This is gonna go in the lower hole from the inside. So from the inside out, make sure that the threads are out. Take the threaded plate and just go ahead and get that started onto the hardware, just like that. Then we're gonna grab our spacer, our bolt, and then our bracket. As you can see, the lower side of this bracket has the hook on it to where you can just slide it right on to the lower hardware. And then you just have to rotate it up. Before you can rotate it up, you need to get your spacer in place. Just slide the spacer into position, grab your bolt, slide it through, and then thread it onto your plate. Once the hardware is started, you can go ahead and reinstall your side panel. Now we're going to take our door bracket for this side, line it up with the threaded holes right here on the back side of the cage. We're not going to fully tighten the hardware yet, we're just going to run it up to where it touches, but we can still adjust around. Now we're going to grab our hinge bracket and we're going to install it to our bracket down here that we previously installed. Once again, we're just going to run these up until they touch. Now we're going to grab our hinge bracket, slide this down onto the hinges. A lot of times you can wiggle it down on there. If you can't get it all the way down, just take a dead blow, give it a couple taps until it fully seats. There it went. So now we're gonna grab our barrel nuts, the washer, and then our short Allen headed hardware. What we're gonna do is take the filler panel, we're gonna have the Allen on the outside, and then the barrel nut is gonna come through the backside, through the brackets. You just wanna make sure that you line these two up, just like so. Take the filler panel, start the hardware through, Just run these up by hand. And you're gonna make sure that you have the washer on the barrel nut side as well. So you have the barrel nut coming from the inside, there'll be a washer, it's gonna go through the filler panel. And then if you put too much bulb seal on the backside here, it's not gonna line up correctly and it's gonna smash it to where it's not gonna seal good. If you followed how we set our bulb seal up in the beginning of the video, you're gonna be just fine. And take the strap here, you're gonna line that up, slide it down into position. And that's gonna couple these two together so that when you open your door, it doesn't sling all the way open. Just like that. Now we're gonna take our door and go ahead and line it up. As you can see, we have all these holes in the door that are gonna line up with our hinge bracket on the inside. Use the barrel nut on the inside through the bracket into the door, and then on the outside, use the Allens. So we're just gonna pick up, get it lined up, come to the outside, install the Allens. Just gonna get them all started at this point. We're not gonna try to fully tighten anything. And we're just gonna let our door hang open right here so we can get our latch installed and then our striker. Now we're gonna grab our last two longer length M8 Allens and our striker bracket, line it up into the front portion of the cage here, and just throw our hardware in. So run them up by hand once again, leave them loose enough to where we can adjust them. Then we're gonna grab our striker and get it installed to this portion here. We're gonna grab our striker with our washers and go ahead and run the striker in from this way. Big washer on the outside, small on the inside with a washer, and then our nut, just like so. We're just gonna leave that loose. We may have to make some adjustments. Then we're gonna be working right here, getting our latch installed to the door. So what you're gonna do is grab your latch and attach it to the latch bracket just like so. You're gonna take the longer length M6 Allens, slide them through, put a nylock nut on the inside of the bracket, and then you want it to sit just like so that the latch is going towards the front of the door. We're gonna grab our longer length M6 Allens here, slide them through the door into the bracket, run the hardware up by hand, then install the handle. It should be like this. We're gonna go ahead and fully tighten all of this hardware. So now what I like to do once my latch is installed, I like to take it, line up the door, go ahead and latch the door, check my gaps all the way around, make sure that the gaps are looking good. If they are, I'm gonna go ahead and tighten up my striker bracket, which is gonna be a 5mm Allen. You can only gain access to the upper one when the door's like so. Let's go ahead and snug that up. And then we're gonna go to the inside with the door still in the position it's in, tighten up the 13mm bolts down low, the 15mm bolts that we ran through the cage, and then the 13 on the back. Once we have all our brackets tight, we're gonna go through and tighten up all the hardware, securing the door skin to the door frame. We're gonna make sure that our door opens and closes properly. So once you've went through, you've got your door adjusted, it's opening and closing correctly, do the exact same thing for the opposite side. Once you've done that, that's all there is to it to install SuperATV's half HDPE doors on this Can-Am Defender. Be sure to check the link below to pick yours up today, and while you're there, drop a like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.